loves talking about their ex? Who here? Say hello in the chat if you've been here before. Welcome. This is your first time. I'm really moved talking about what we're going to talk about today. And this is really intended to be a conversation. So please feel free from the get-go to blurb your questions, your longings for this time together. It's a short session, so we just have 15 minutes together. And I want to start off by picking one ex, okay? So pick one person that maybe there's just some unresolved issue with, a little bit of feelings still there, something that you want to expand, or maybe if you're fully complete with all your exes, the person that you feel most grateful for. Hey, Elena, good to see you. Yeah, it's always so nice to see all your lovely faces. And every time you guys pop your names on the chat or that you say hello, I get to remember who you are. And it feels good to continue the conversation over time, right? So I want to give a different perspective to this conversation around our ex, because I think the default tends to be just resentment and disappointment, or just putting this lovely human on a pedestal. And so does everybody have their ex in mind? Do you know who is the ex that we're talking about? Give me a thumbs up if you're like, yes, totally know who the ex is, or a yes on the chat. Okay, TJ's got the ex clear. All right, yes, Jeremy, amazing. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for a moment, and we won't stay here long. And make sure, if you can, obviously close your eyes if you're not driving or doing anything crazy, if it feels safe. And notice your feet on the floor, right? So good to feel the support of this earth beneath us, the support of your chair, the support of your chair behind you, below you. And consider, what is a feeling that comes up when you think about this person? Maybe it's sadness, maybe it's fear, maybe it's anger. And maybe it's a sensation in your body. Maybe you just feel some contraction. Maybe you feel, tension on your face, on your forehead, a ball in the pit of your stomach, a sinking feeling. What is your version of the emotion and the feeling, the sensation that comes up for you? There might be many, so I invite you to just choose one. So let's say, there is a sadness, right? You can go with the emotion that you feel. If you could make things right, like what would you want from this person? Like, what is the desire, the longing behind the sadness, the fear, the frustration, the collapsing? What would you want from this person? Maybe you'd want an apology, maybe you'd want understanding, maybe you'd want acknowledgement. Is there a sentence that you want to hear? You want to know it was real. And then take a deep breath. And when I say a deep breath, I mean a long exhale. Can even be a normal breath as long as your exhale is long. And do it 3 times. Exhaling longer than you're inhaling. And then you can come back to the screen and shake it off, right? You're like, okay, we just went have a little meeting with this ex, or like got ourselves back. If you can't stand up, even stand up, because we can do a little bit of just shaking on the spine. You don't even need to move your foot, right? Like just the knees and let go. And then you can do it a little bit more vigorously, just to kind of thank you and bye. Thank you for the visit. So what did you guys discover? What was the emotion that came up for you when you thought about this very special ex that we're blasting today, that we are saying thank you to today? What was it for you? Sadness, anger, fear, disappointment? I can't hear you, so unless you type on the chat, I'll be guessing. And what I want to point out, right, like as you come out of this space, peace. Okay, well, you clearly, TJ, you're supposed to pick someone that you had unresolved issues with. So when we think about this, this lingering thing or this emotion or a moment in time when we weren't feeling peaceful about it, right? Maybe it was, okay, maybe I did the work, I am at peace with it now. But a moment in time when I felt mad, I felt angry, I felt sad, I felt disappointed. There is something that we wanted right then. A piece that he is gone. We got that. And if there is something that you would want, and maybe it's not even from the person, right? So maybe you're thinking, okay, I don't want anything from them. I wouldn't ask for it. I didn't want to hear anything else anymore. If you were to hear or want or desire from the universe, from God, from, a higher power, when you are considering the pain that you were in that moment, what would you want? And there is a want for affection that we might have not received in that moment. There is a want for peace. There is a want for ease. There is the want for closeness. So if you went there, and you can obviously go back and revisit and pick another ex and do this exercise again. Yeah, accountability. Wow, I'd really love to see this person showing up responsibly, taking accountability for their part. Obviously, we can not demand. Most of us learned, you probably learned, you cannot demand this from the person. In fact, that's probably the last person you could have asked it from. And maybe you didn't, right? That's a whole other conversation. Maybe you didn't even ask for what you wanted and you just hoped that they would read your mind. They would just know. It was so obvious. I was totally like that with my ex-husband. Like, he should just know. Like, it was so clear. It was so obvious. But I didn't have the skills to communicate what I really wanted or how I was feeling in a way that was really capable of being received, or like easy to be received. But the want is still pointing to something, right? Like the want is pointing to a need for reciprocity, perhaps, TJ, a need for mutuality, a need for being seen, a need for presence. And what is really great is that we discovered what the need is. It's as if, let's see if this metaphor works, as if somebody came into your house and now they're doing all the, they're messing around in your kitchen, and they're like, oh, you know what? Like, there is no this and there is no that, and like, there is no sugar for the tea. And you think, oh, damn it. I've been wanting to buy sugar, coconut sugar. Okay. I've been wanting to buy sugar or honey or whatever it may be for a few days, and it just totally went out of your mind. So you don't need to do it for the person. You don't need to get out of the house right now and go buy whatever this person messing around in your kitchen is asking for, realizing that it's missing. But their presence there, directly or indirectly, pointed to something that you need, that you were needing before they arrived, that you're still needing now that they're here. Because, they didn't bring the sugar. They could have come to your house and brought some sugar for the tea, the cake, the coffee, whatever you guys were having together. So when we notice these feelings that we're habituated to, the ones that we're habituated to, because I trust it's not the first time, TJ, that you wanted accountability from someone. I assert, tell me if I'm wrong, it's not the first time you wanted presence from someone. It's not the first time you felt anxiety or disappointment or sadness or hopelessness from someone. So that feeling, that need has been hanging out in your house for a very long time. And that person, bless them, they just made it so painfully obvious that this thing was missing in your house. They made it so painfully obvious, your addiction to feeling upset, to feeling disappointed, to feeling angry. And in fact, even the times when we bring that person back into our minds, it is often just so that we can feel it again, right? Like when you're angry, when things are unfair, then you run through the whole list of people that made it so that it's true that things are unfair. And if you didn't have this clinginess, and I say lovingly, right? Like, I trust you to be very big humans here who are looking at yourselves responsibly and saying, wow, what can I transform to get an even more delicious life, to have an even more full of possibilities kitchen. That person just made it obvious that we've been doing this over and over and over. We've been recycling the same feelings. We've been recycling the same needs that we refuse to fulfill. Like, we've been hoping that somebody else is going to bring the goddamn sugar because I don't really like buying sugar. And now that they left, there's still no sugar and there is nobody to blame. The feeling of anger and sadness, anxiety might not have fully disappeared. And there is nobody to blame. Even when we want to blame them in our minds, we're the people bringing them back in our minds, right? Just to rerun that same pathway over and over and over and over again. So I'm not bringing this, and I want to wrap up to say that your ex was not accountable to things that they were accountable for. or responsible, or that to justify things that people have done, said. You could have all the reasons to feel sad, all the reasons to feel anger, all the reasons to feel disappointment. But the point is not to find logic, okay? Like, our job, our role is not to find the logic in who's to blame. It's not to find the logic on why something happened. It is just to pay attention to the fact that we're feeling what we're feeling. That I am feeling sad, that I am feeling devastated, that I am feeling loss, grief, anger. It is not to try to come up with better ways for somebody else to fulfill our needs, or to explain why they should, or all the things we did for them, or that anybody in a healthy relationship would. But it's to notice, I am sitting with this need. And so we have a lot to thank to our exes, to the people that, and you don't need to go and write them and say thank you, you know, and you don't need to find it in your heart before you're ready to find that in your heart. But every person that is rubbing off on us in the wrong way, every person that triggers us out of alignment, every person that has the power to push us over the edge or hurt us in any way, really, like to make us suffer. Okay, people do sometimes have the power, depending how close they are to us, to actually hurt us. But to keep that going, they are just messengers in a way. They are messengers of the next level of goodness that I could bring to my life, the next level of accountability that I can bring to my life, to not be in a relationship with somebody that is not accountable, the next level of responsibility and joy and whatever it may be that we were needing, so that we really rearrange our lives in ways that, and maybe we have rearranged our lives in ways that are more aligned, that are more fulfilling right now. Yeah, wanting emotional security. Like, how do I give myself that so that I don't need that much, so that it doesn't hurt so much? And it's not for you to pretend you don't have needs. It's not for you to anything. It's for you to actually get those needs met every day, at every moment, from so many different sources, that this person that is with you, wow, they give you a whole bunch of extra chew, and it's amazing, and it's such a filled kitchen with more things that we could ever possibly eat. We have to keep calling the neighbors, we have to keep calling the whole community, because this love is so good. Like, how could I resource myself, not alone, because we don't find all these things within ourselves, but how could I resource myself from all so many sources? And that X was just signaling maybe the thing that we keep being oblivious to. We keep forgetting to buy, we keep forgetting to source in other places. And with that, like, thank you for the lesson. Like, thank you for the pain that really pushed me to trust myself more. Thank you for the pain that helped me move quicker in a direction that I know is ready. That is so beautiful. Thank you for the donations as well, like in the call and afterwards. It's such a gift to receive. I want to end up by taking a moment again, if you can, close your eyes and just think of what is it that you want to thank them or yourself or life or the universe from that experience. Maybe you're in a much better relationship thanks to that experience. Maybe you got to connect with a new person because of how things ended. Maybe you got a new hobby because of how things ended. Maybe you learned to reach out to God, to community, to your health. Maybe that painful experience and that person guided you in ways that you wish had been more tender, wish had been more fair, wish had been kinder, but they still guided you closer, closer to fulfillment, closer to the most beautiful life that you have been calling in. And when you're ready and when you found that thing, you can open up your eyes again. And I want to say thank you to you for being so courageous to even daring to love, to even daring to go there. Now and before and in the future, for daring to feel, for daring to be alive, for daring to have needs, for daring to be human. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. I saw that some of you already registered for the interactive event that we have on Valentine's Day. It is for singles only, so I feel for you if you're in a relationship, but you can go to consciousconnectionsclub.com/love, or you can go to the link on my profile to redirect you there. And yeah, we're going to be playing games with people from all over the world. And these are connection games. They're such profound ways to connect. I know we connect here in beautiful ways, but live, seeing each other's faces. And it's always such a joy for me. I'm so excited to see some of you there because it feels like it's going to deepen what we have. And tomorrow, also here, same time, let me just pull up the theme that we'll be discussing. Bring your questions, bring yourself fully. Why secure daters reply differently? Okay, so we're going to talk about dating anxiety, how to spot when somebody is a secure dater from any texting that you're getting, but also notice, how could I be closer? How could I get closer to secure attachment, even just by how I practice texting someone? Okay. Really excited to have that chat. Thanks for being here. We went way over time. It's so much fun to be with you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.